Hi, friend. I just wanted to take a minute to invite you to our Lash Biz Babes Experience 2026. This is a one-day all online event happening on May 2nd, and our theme for the year is going all in. We are shaking things up and doing it differently than anyone ever has before. This is going to be an all online event as usual, but it's going to be 100% a curated journey throughout your day as we guide you through the mindset, strategy, and passion needed to go all in on your business to make it your best year in business yet. All lash artists, estheticians, and beauty professionals are invited to join us. There will be guided sessions, interactive workshops, a panel discussion, and big giveaways happening throughout that whole day. And tickets are on sale now for only $199. Payment plans are available. Let's go all in on our businesses for 2026 together. All the details and the link for tickets are down in the show notes below. I would love to have you join us online in May. Welcome to Lash Biz Babes, the podcast for solo beauty business owners who want to build a full clientele and create a business and life that they truly love. My name is Erica. I'm your host. I'm a lash artist turned beauty business coach, lash educator, and social media manager for salons and beauty businesses. I'm so happy that you're here. Let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. Welcome to this week's episode of Lash Biz Babes. My name is Erica. I'm your host, and I'm super happy to be back and recording another episode for you this week. I took a week off because we were in Florida for Nails and Lash Expo for a week. We took the kids, we made a family vacation out of it. It was so much fun. We had the best time, and the event went well. I thought it was a great event. And it was a lot of fun, but it was also just a whirlwind of a week with a lot going on. And traveling is just already a lot as it is, and then you add all the kids in and then all the conference stuff. It was just kind of a lot, and it was a whirlwind. We did end up getting sick by the time we got home, so there was a lot going on at once. So we're back at the podcast now, thank goodness. So happy. Before we jump into this week's episode, I wanted just to throw a little shout out for Lash Biz Babes online conference that is happening in just over a week and a half. This is our 2-day online conference that we do as like our podcast community, our Lash Biz Babes community every year. So this will be our third year doing it, and it's just a great way to really come together. One of the reasons I wanted to start the podcast was to bring, fellow lash artists and fellow estheticians and fellow beauty business owners together as a community so that we can learn together, we can grow together, we can lean on each other. So this is just one of the ways that we do that each year. So I'm super excited. This is all online. We do speakers, they teach little classes. We're going to have a couple of panels this year again. That was so much fun last year where you got to like ask your questions and it was more like a discussion type of feel. So if you missed the episode where I announced all the speakers and the panelists, you can go back and listen to that to hear like who's going to be there and what you're going to be able to learn about. Is coming up on May 3rd and 4th. It is all online. All the presentations are on Zoom, and we also have a private Facebook group for the event throughout the weekend so that you can connect together. We kind of have some more like discussions and, different things in there, networking and such. That's coming up super quick next week, and I just wanted to genuinely invite you to be there, to come hang out with us, and to come learn and to come grow with us. So it is only $199 right now. Ticket prices do go up next week. So right now it's only $199, and there is a payment plan option where you can split it up into 3 monthly payments of only $74. And then the week of the event, if you are listening to it the week of, the prices are going up to $299, and there will be a payment plan option, but I don't know what that is off the top of my head right now. But all the details are down in the show notes. You can go get all of that down there. It is all recorded as well, so you can go back and watch the replays later on. And I love this about it because whether you can watch everything live or you have to miss a day or two, you got to take a client, whatever, you're not going to miss anything. You're going to be able to come back to it again and again whenever you want to. So just genuinely would love to have you there and to get to learn and grow together. It's more of an intimate event. It's not like hundreds of people in a room. It's it's online. You can really ask your questions directly. You can get one-to-one feedback, and it's just like, I don't know, I just feel like we're all so well interconnected and the vibes are just so good every year and the energy's so good, and I just leave literally with the fullest heart every time. So I'm so thrilled to be able to do this again this year. So I would genuinely love to have you there. All the details are down in the show notes, and feel free to message me on Instagram if you have any questions at XO Erica Shram or at LashBizBabes on Instagram. So that being said, let's jump into this week's episode. I was really thinking about what can we talk about this week? What are people struggling with? What do you need to hear? And what kept coming to mind was I have seen this a lot within like Facebook groups. I've talked with some of my friends and some different beauty business owners recently, and have just been kind of noticing the same pattern that I've seen in myself before too. So I just wanted to kind of share some of my experiences with it and like how to well, let me tell you the topic. So basically, how your mindset can make or break the growth in your business. So you've heard me talk about this before if you've listened to the podcast at all, that I am a true believer that growing your business is a matter of strategy and mindset. Like you have to have both to be able to grow successfully and especially to be able to grow sustainably. If you just have strategy, you're going to struggle with your mindset. If you're just doing all the woo woo things and you're not taking action, you're going to struggle to grow. It really takes both. And what I'm seeing is people who are struggling with the mindset side of things. And from personal experience, when you get in that rut, and you're really struggling with the mindset side of things, I'm like, oh, this isn't working. There's too many other lash artists out there. There's too many other estheticians out there. The market is saturated to the economy. Oh, I don't know. And you start like getting into the mindset of I should start looking for a job and all these things. And it's like, okay, we got to take a breath for a second and think about this because it's really hard to pull yourself out of that when you're in the thick of it. So I just wanted to share some of my experiences and just, spread some encouragement this week and maybe hopefully a little bit of motivation because I know when I get stuck in that rut and I'm just having like a terrible mindset or getting hard on myself, something that helps pull me out of that is listening to podcasts and getting motivated, getting hyped up, like getting fired up. Like I'll listen to like those YouTube videos, like the motivational ones on YouTube where it's like a motivational speech and they're practically like yelling at you. Not like in a mean way yelling at you, but like they're so fired up that they're like, yeah, like I don't even know. Like I'm not even gonna try and recreate it because I'm not that level of speaker, but that helps me. So my hope for this week's episode is that you will hear something that plants a little seed in your heart that helps you flip the script on your mindset and the thoughts that you're having and helps you to kind of just even be able to pull yourself or get a little bit of movement out of the rut you're feeling right now or where you're feeling stuck at so that you can keep moving forward. Like we want to get you like dug out of the little hole and like continuing on, right? With that, I think one of the things for me that I have to remind myself of every single day is like, what am I doing today to get closer to my goals? Okay. And that doesn't mean that you always have to be productive or you always have to be doing something because I feel like rest and taking care of yourself can be part of what you're doing today to get you closer to your goals because you do have to take care of yourself still, especially when we're talking like not getting burnt out all of the time. But for me, I really have to think about that and be intentional with it because it's like, okay, what am I doing today? Because that's what I feel like I've kind of been noticing in the pattern is like people are like, well, it's not working. I'm doing all the things. I only have a few clients this week, or, I'm feeling stuck. There's so many other lash artists out there. And I've felt this way before too. So if this is you, don't feel like I'm judging you, like absolutely zero judgment. Like I'm just sharing some different examples, but when you do start feeling this way, like it changes the way that you're behaving and your actions behind things. And you really have to look at, I say I want this end goal, right? I want to have a full clientele. I want to book up my salon again. I want to get more clients. I want to start educating, whatever that goal is. And you say that's what you want, but are your actions day to day lining up with that? Because when you start feeling in this rut and you're starting to feel like, okay, there's too many other lecturers out there, or those, kinds of examples I was just giving, then it's like, what are you doing every day to actually hit your end goal? And that's what I have to look out too, because even with like my business now with the social media management agency, I have to look at and be aware of, okay, this is what I say I want. This is the goal we have set for the year. This is what we're working towards. But when I wake up in the morning, what am I doing to make sure my actions align with what I say that I want? Because if you want to grow, right, but you're waking up every day and you're like feeling sorry for yourself and it's, oh, the economy this, the economy that, other lash artists, blah, 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 whatever, you're not taking that action. What are you doing today to grow your business? Because if you're not making that time, you're not taking that action, you're not getting yourself in the right frame of mind, of course your business isn't growing. And I say this from a place of love, but it's sometimes you have to really self reflect on that. And I'm not, this is me too, okay? This is what I have to do for myself to get myself growing. This is what's gotten me out of ruts and back into my creativeness and back into my energy and back into, on the road to growth and signing clients and booking clients. You have to look at, what do I say I want and what am I actually doing? Is you have to wake up every day and work towards that in one way or another. And when you get in this energy of it's not working and oh, it's so hard, it's really hard to feel on fire and feel excited and feel like ready to grow and like, okay, what am I doing today? Like actually have fun with it too. Like you're not in that creative, that fun energy, that, oh, I'm excited to grow. Like it can be really tough. And it's not like you're always going to be in that really good growth energy, but it's like, okay, what can I do to kind of get back to some of that place? And what can I do today to keep growing even if it's feeling hard? Because that's what's going to get you to the end goal. And that's what separates those who you see continuing to grow. It's not that they don't have hard days or they don't have hard things that they go through. It's just that they stuck with it and they kept going through the difficulties. And I'm a firm believer, you have to take the time to heal. You have to take the time for yourself. You have to take care of yourself still. But it's like, okay, you wanna grow? What are you doing today to grow? That can look like taking your care of yourself sometimes. That can look like not having, maybe you don't have like a productive day from the outside looking in, but like you did what you needed to. So like for me, sometimes I get in this space of like, I know I need to do things in my business to keep growing, right? I know I need to take this action, but my house is like messy and it's like cluttered and it's making me feel overwhelmed. Then my action for the day maybe is doing more cleaning than I normally do so that I can focus on my work fully and not be overwhelmed by the dishes needing to be done or the clothes needing to get put away. So it's like, okay, I'm still taking that action that's going to help me grow. From the outside looking in, cleaning my house, does that really look like it directly correlates to growing my business? Maybe not necessarily, but for me, that's what I needed to do to help myself grow today so that I could have the space to work on my business and not feel overwhelmed. So it doesn't always have to look like textbook, something you're doing to grow, like strategically grow. Obviously, that's a part of it too. But, every day you're taking step towards doing a little bit better than you were yesterday. And for me, I also had to look at, like sometimes I need to make bigger changes, right? Get outside of my comfort zone more, or, this really isn't working. I need to make some big changes to this system or the way that we do things, or, whatever that looks like. And so that's just my motivation and my encouragement to you today. If you're feeling stuck, you're feeling in a rut, really look at your mindset. How are you feeling? What actions are you taking right now? That's the pattern I feel like I've been noticing is just it's been a hard year for a lot of people. There's many business owners that are really kind of stuck in that rut, that are feeling that burnout, that negative energy of just like, this is hard, I'm really trying to make this work, and oh, I don't know. And from my perspective, I absolutely empathize with that. And at the same time, it's like you kind of got to like take your power back from those situations, right? And really step into your power again. And that can be difficult to do sometimes, but for me, that's what has helped me get out of those ruts and helped me grow is getting back into that energy of growth and putting my time and my focus into self-growth, into working on myself and into my business. And because, if you're really struggling to grow your clientele right now, and you're feeling down about it, you're not going to take the same action in your business that you would if you were excited about things. And when you are in this rut, like, you're not taking the same actions that you might have. It might be on a subconscious level, but you're not going to act the same as you would if you were fired up and you knew it was gonna happen and it was just a matter of time and, you were in that good energy again. And I feel like there's a balance between this because you're always gonna have hard things that happen and you're gonna have your down times when, like, you need to rest, or you're gonna have hard things that really take up a lot of your energy and your time. And in the same breath, please just take this as your permission slip to say, okay, the economy doesn't get to control the growth of my business. Like, I'm in control of that. Can that affect it somehow? Maybe I need to pivot. Maybe I need to make different choices. Maybe I need to try something a different way. Sure. But you're still the one in power of what you do and how your business grows. I know that can be hard to hear, but it's true. You are still the one in control of you and what you're doing. And that's the way I have to look at it is I don't have control over what other people do, how they treat me, how they treat other people. I don't have control over the economy. I don't have control over what other lash artists charge, what other, social media managers charge. I don't have control over how many other beauty professionals there are in my area, but I do have control over myself and what I do and how I handle this. So that's what I'm going to say to you too. You have control over you and your thoughts and your actions. So what can you do about it? Okay? Maybe you can't change the shitty situation that you're in, but you can control what you do about it. And that's the tough love wake up call that I got from one of my therapists last year. She was like, "You're not in control of that. So what can you control?" And for me, as someone with a lot of, like, anxiety, that was like, "Okay, yeah, like, what can I control?" Because at the end of the day, that's all that I can do. So what am I doing to wake up today and take back that power? What I also learned was that a lot of the things we tell ourselves, like there's too many other lash artists out there, or when you're getting hard on yourself, a lot of those things aren't necessarily true. It's stories that you're telling yourself. So when I look at that through that perspective, like, yes, I'm going through this hard thing. Yes, it feels hard to show up for my business right now, but what am I going to do about that now? Right? And so this is just your encouragement that, like, sometimes you have to flip that script for yourself too and recognize that, like, okay, is this true or is this not true? And is this a story that I'm telling myself? And my husband kind of had to help me with that one time. 'Cause he's like, well, because I was like, I think, oh, you had so much fun with your family, but I'm pretty sure this person doesn't like me and they probably think all these terrible things about me and they're probably judging me for this. And he was like, Erica, like, do you really feel like she feels that way about you? And I was like, well, that's what my brain is telling me. It was like midnight or something, like really late at night when we were talking about this. And I was like laying in bed having the worst anxiety over it. And he's like, did she say something to make you believe that? Did she say that to you? It was like, no. He goes, well, then why would you think that's true? And it was just like, oh, like that was the first time for me that I ever realized that, like, that was a story I was telling myself that's not necessarily true. And until that can be proven true, I need to stop telling myself that, right? So I've had to apply kind of that concept to a lot of different situations in my personal life, but also in business. Because, okay, just because you're telling yourself that there's so many other lash artists out there, that's just the example I use because that's one of the biggest things that held me back in my earlier days. But, like, you're telling yourself that, but is that actually true, right? Are there still clients enough to go around for everyone? Absolutely. When I was lashing in St. George, Utah, there were a lot of Utah just in general has a lot of lash artists, right? And in St. George, there's tons of lash artists down there, and there's a lot of really great lash artists too. So it was hard sometimes because it's like, yeah, there are so many amazing artists here, but then when I kind of like looked at it from the perspective of there's a lot of lash artists here, but there's also a ton of people moving here right now, and it's growing really quickly, and they're all going to be, like, potentially looking for a lash artist. So that's another way of just like flipping the script, like, okay, there's a lot of lash artists, but there's also a lot of clients, there's people moving here. And it's like, okay, we got to focus our time and our energy into those thoughts instead, because the more you dwell on the negative side of things, or there's too many other lash artists, there's too many, the market is saturated, the more you think about that, the more it like festers. I hate that word, but like I don't know what other word to use. But the more you're going to put your energy into that, and when you're putting your energy in that place, like that's going to become your reality. That's the lens that you see the world through, right? So if you're looking at the world through, oh, there's not enough clients for everyone, versus, oh, there's plenty of people moving here, there's tons of different opportunities for me. Like, which one do you think is going to be more successful for you? And if you're waking up every day feeling hard on yourself and feeling like stuck in this rut and, oh, it's just not working, I'm doing all the things, okay, that can be true. And that's valid that it feels hard. Okay, we're gonna like acknowledge those feelings. We're not gonna just gonna bury them down deep and pretend we're not feeling that way, or that it doesn't exist. We can acknowledge that, and that's valid, but at the same time, it can also be true that there are still opportunities out there for you, and you have to flip that script for yourself. Okay, yes, it does feel hard. Yes, there might be a lot of lash artists, but, also there's a lot of opportunities for me out there. Another client could book for me at any minute. Like my next new client could be looking at my website right now. Like you never know, right? And just like keeping that open mind, keeping that perspective and continuing to market yourself and to grow your business and to take the action where you need to keep on growing, because otherwise you probably will get stuck and you're not going to be able to grow very easily. And I've seen this with some of my students in the past and, some different beauty business owners that I've worked with, where it's like things were going really well in their business and they got stuck in this route where it was really hard to grow. They weren't getting as many clients booking as normal and they were like kind of panicking. They get in this panic mode. And when you're in panic mode, you're like, I need more clients. I'm panicking. What am I going to do? And oh, I'm gonna have to get another job. And you're like, are you really taking the action you need to when you're in that mindset frame, right? So when we were able, like I was able to help them talk through things and help them shift things, and like, okay, but let's take a breath, take a look at this objectively. You kind of have to like take your own little hat off and put your little business owner hat on. You've probably heard me say that before, but like, objectively look at things and, okay, what do we need to do? Let's not panic, but let's look at, what do I have control of? What can I do today to grow my business and keep moving forward, and like adjusting that mindset of, okay, there's still opportunities out there for me, and there's other clients out there for me. I've done it before, I can do it again. Absolutely. Let's keep moving forward. And when you like are able to shift out of that panic mode and that need space, then get into that, I want this, I'm excited for this, and what am I going to do about this type of space instead? And this like other mindset, then that's when things can start changing easier for you. And that's with one of my specific past students. What she said was like, if she came to me kind of panicking, had like sent me like a voice message on Instagram DMs and was like, I'm freaking out, like not as many people are booking. So we had talked about some things, said, okay, let's have you do this and make these adjustments and see how that goes. And she came back to me, I don't remember how long later, maybe it was a few weeks later or something, I'm not sure, but she was just like, yeah, it's going so much better now. Like, I've been able to get bookings, and like everything's gonna be fine. And she was like, Erica, really at the end of the day, it was just my mindset. I had to shift out of that panic mode and like that worry and that negative energy, and shift into a better mindset. And that she was like, that's when it I started getting bookings again. And it's kind of weird how it works out that way sometimes, because you wouldn't think that. But at the end of the day, like that's where your momentum gets going again. And when you're in that space, then you're flipping that mindset. It's not that you're never going to have these these negative thoughts, or never going to go through hard things, but when you're able to flip that on its head, flip the script on that, and you're able to navigate that, then you're going to be able to keep moving forward instead of getting yourself stuck and getting in your own way and getting in the way of your own growth. There are going to be hard things that you go through. You are going to go through times where you have a more like negative self talk mindset on things, or, things are going to get difficult. But I think part of being able to sustainably grow is being able to recognize that. It all first starts with self-reflection, self-recognition of, is this what I'm telling myself true or not? Like, can it be factually proven or not? And if not, what can I tell myself instead, right? So, there are more opportunities out there for me. It can get better. One of my favorites is just simply tomorrow is a new day, right? Can get better tomorrow. My next client can book at any time. Kind of like reinforcing those more positive thoughts for yourself and replacing that with a new affirmation. The thing that really solidifies that, because it's not like that negative thought goes away overnight, but what solidifies that is repeatedly doing that again and again every time, and continuing to remind yourself of that and continuing to take that action that you need to, because when you are feeling that way subconsciously, you're not going to take the same aligned action as you would if you were, replacing those with more positive thoughts, right? And still believing in yourself. Self-reflection, recognizing it, that's always the first step. Replacing that with is this true? Is this not true? Replacing it with a positive affirmation and continuing to do that time and time again. That's what has helped pull me out of my negativity cycles. Like, I'm a very self-critical person in the past, and so that's been a struggle for me. That's a weakness of mine, is I can be very self-critical and I get really hard on myself. So this is the pattern that gets me out of that, and that's truly what helped me literally triple, like, my business last year. Grew my business times 3 last year. At the end of the day, I would bring it back to that, because I was always, like, down on myself and hard on myself. I was in that stuck part as well, where I felt like I was stuck, I was plateauing, I wasn't really growing. What am I doing? Should I get another job? Like, oh, it was just, like, so much, and, in 2023, and instead of leaning into like the negative thoughts and like the negative side of things, or all those other thoughts I was having, it was like, okay, but what am I doing to lean into my strengths and what I'm good at and the opportunities that I know I have in front of me, and like, what am I leaning into those? How am I doing that? And that's kind of where the social media management company was born from. Was like, I felt like I was really good at it. It was something I really enjoyed. I felt like it was a strength of mine, and I really leaned into that, and then I tripled my business the next year. So, sometimes it's just simply a matter of, let's stop, like, entertaining the negativity and start entertaining, like, what I know I'm good at, and, like, building myself up and nurturing these talents I know that I have, right? And I don't want that to come off as, like, a toxic positivity thing, because one of my struggles too was that, like, all the negative things and all that, I would just stuff it down, and I wouldn't, like, address those or feel those feelings, and then it would all come, like, bubbling out at once, and it was just I would have, like, a meltdown. And what I had to learn was that you have to kind of recognize those feelings when you're feeling them and let yourself feel it, let yourself cry it out, journal it out, go grounding, put your feet in the sand, go in nature, or whatever you need to do. Like, feel those feelings, acknowledge them. Don't just try and shove them away. But then, okay, I acknowledge that. I felt that. I've let it out. I let that pass. And now I'm going to keep moving forward, right? So that was something for me. I don't want this to be toxic positivity. It's not like things aren't ever going to be hard, but you acknowledge that difficulty, you acknowledge how you're feeling, and then you continue to move forward, right? So that's what really helped me. I hope that, sometimes I feel like when I record the podcast that I'm just like jumbling, that's not a word. I'm just like ramble, that's what I'm looking for. I'm just rambling. But in my head it makes sense, so I hope it makes sense for you too. But, this is something I've really struggled with. This is a pattern I feel like I'm seeing a lot right now. Is just people who are having a hard time, and they're like, it's not working. I don't think it's going to work again. It's like, I just want to like shake them almost and be like, please just remember who you are. Like, you've done this before. You can do it again. Like, get back in that energy. Like, the opportunities are available to you. Like, go out and get it. Like, you can do this. Like, you're sitting at home, you're feeling sorry for yourself, you're feeling pity. Oh, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. No, like, you're not, like, just go do it. Like, if there's no try about it, get out there and take back what is yours. I would never like be that aggressive to someone, because I really try to be empathetic, and like, I know how hard it can be, but it's like, I see all of this potential in you, and I know you have it in you. You've done it before and know you're going to do it again. Like, just remember who you are, and like, wake up again, and like, get after it. Like, what are you doing today to grow your business? Like, are you taking that time to do what you need to do? And like, maybe you need to change things up. You've done it a long time, but now it's time to like, switch things up and, get in that energy again. But it's just like that's just how I feel right now with the industry. There are a lot of hard things happening. It's like, what can you control? And like, just wake up, step into your power. Like, and I know that's easier, way, 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 way easier said than done. But it just, I don't know. That's just what I felt like talking about today. Like, I just want you to wake up to your potential. I want you to remember who you are and how many opportunities you have available to you. There's my motivation and encouragement for you this week. You've got this. And I love you. I hope you have a wonderful week. And I will talk to you guys again next week.